Meet David, a life of hardship. David knew the sting of poverty. He woke up each morning in a cramped, run-down apartment. The walls were thin and the roof leaked when it rained. He worked tirelessly at a local factory. The work was monotonous and physically demanding. Every muscle in his body ached at the end of a long shift. His meager earnings were barely enough to cover the rent and put food on the table. David yearned for a better life, one where he wasn't constantly struggling to make ends meet. He wanted to provide for his family and escape the cycle of poverty that had trapped generations before him. Despite the hardships, David held on to a glimmer of hope. He believed that things could be different. He had a dream that seemed impossible given his circumstances. David clung to this dream, using it as fuel to keep going in the face of adversity. He knew deep down that he was destined for more than a life of factory work and constant struggle. David's dream was simple yet profound. He wanted to open a bakery. Baking was his solace, a way to escape the harsh realities of his life. He spent his free evenings hunched over cookbooks, his hands covered in flour, the smell of yeast and sugar filling his tiny apartment. He would bake for his neighbors, sharing his creations and spreading a little bit of joy in their lives. Their smiles and words of appreciation fueled his passion. He dreamed of a small bakery filled with the aroma of freshly baked bread and the chatter of happy customers. He envisioned a place where people could gather, share stories and savor the simple pleasure of a warm pastry. This dream was his anchor, a beacon of light in the darkness of his current reality. It represented hope, creativity, and the possibility of a brighter future. One dreary evening, as David trudged home from the factory, he stumbled upon a street vendor selling old books. He stopped to browse, drawn in by the worn spines and the promise of stories untold. His eyes fell upon a book titled The Alchemist, its pages filled with tales of following one's dreams. He purchased the book with the few coins he had left. That night, as he devoured the book's pages, a fire ignited within him. The story resonated deeply with his own desires and struggles. He realized that life was too short to spend in misery, toiling away at a job that brought him no joy. He decided then and there to take a leap of faith. He would pursue his dream of opening a bakery, no matter the obstacles that stood in his way. Section 4. Whispers of Doubt, Facing the Naysayers. David's decision was met with skepticism and resistance. His family, though supportive, worried about the risks involved. They had always lived a life of scarcity, and the thought of him leaving a stable job, however unfulfilling, filled them with anxiety. His friends, hardened by their own struggles, scoffed at his naivete. They told him to be realistic, to accept his lot in life. They warned him that dreams were for fools, and that he was destined to fail. But David refused to let their doubts extinguish the fire that burned within him. He knew that the path to his dream wouldn't be easy, but he was determined to prove them wrong. He had tasted the sweetness of his aspirations, and he wouldn't let anything stand in his way. Section 5. A Guiding Light, the Mentor's Wisdom. One day, while selling his homemade bread at a local market, David met a kind old baker named Mr. Sanchez. Mr. Sanchez saw the passion in David's eyes and the dedication in his craft. He recognized a kindred spirit, someone who understood the magic of transforming simple ingredients into something extraordinary. Mr. Sanchez became David's mentor, guiding him through the intricacies of running a bakery. He shared his years of experience, teaching David the art of baking, the importance of quality ingredients, and the secrets to building a loyal customer base. More importantly, Mr. Sanchez instilled in David the importance of perseverance, hard work, and unwavering belief in oneself. He taught David that success wasn't a destination, but a journey filled with challenges and triumphs. Section 6. Climbing the ladder, small victories, major obstacles. David's journey was fraught with challenges. Securing a loan with his limited resources felt insurmountable. He faced countless rejections from banks, his hopes dwindling with each passing day. Undeterred, David started small. He began by selling his baked goods at local markets and fairs. He worked long hours, waking up before dawn to prepare his dough and staying up late to bake. He poured his heart and soul into every loaf of bread, every pastry, every cake. Slowly but surely, his efforts began to pay off. His reputation grew and his customer base expanded. Word of mouth spread and soon people were lining up to taste his creations. His small victories fueled his determination, pushing him to work even harder.